everyone, and welcome back. And to this, sorry, my volume was a bit low. Hopefully, it's better now. Anyway, at long last, we are here with the release of Path of Schaa, the final book of the Defenders of Aphalas trilogy. Liberation of Destinal, Assault on Aphalas, and now Path of Schaa. And it is, as you can see, available over on the Ko-fi, and for those of you on YouTube, the Ko-fi link will be into the description, and for those of you on Twitch, it can be found on one of my panels, or if you catch the chat, it pops up every hour or so as a link. But that is up there now, and it is all ready to go, and between the return of the podcast and the release of the final part of the trilogy, this has been quite a awesome week in a lot of ways. And yeah, a little tad emotional. Obviously I have Code of Chivalry and Soul of the Gem as well, but Aphalas, Liberation of Destinal, that is, all the way back when it still held this front cover, was the first book. So from that came the trilogy, and from just the story of Aphalas came everything else, including Code of Chivalry. And yeah, it's just awesome to be here and saying this now, because especially with Path, because Path of Schaa has gone through about maybe 2.5 rewrites. Liberation and Assault on Aphalas had adjustments and some changes, but between doing the world building and the other things I wanted to tease and establish and everything, Path of Schaa has now grown to the biggest book in terms of page length that I've ever released. And whilst I can envision that in the future that may change, for now, it's a great milestone to make. And yeah, it's just really. All I can really say is that it is the conclusion of the trilogy, because obviously I don't want to spoil the other two books, but what I will say is that a lot of interesting ancient forces and powers come to bear in Path of Schaa more than in Liberation or Assault on Aphalas combined. And there are some very big climactic battles, there are some twists in allegiance, and it is a very interesting conclusion, I feel. And I am going to say that, yes, this isn't really so much tune in to see this or that type of thing, because, well, yeah, again, I don't want to spoil things, but I have teased and I have set up the notion, and in the future there will be more stories set in Aphalas, either short story or full-blown novels. I do not know if there will be another trilogy in the future, or there may be a couple of two-parters, but I'm not sure about a full-blown trilogy again. So this may be the only full-blown trilogy, but it might be because in the future I do stuff that's more along the lines of Chronicle, which would be quite a nice way of doing it, I think, especially if it came to the short stories. But I will note that all three of the Aphalas books are the same price. They're available on Ko-fi. I am looking into expanding onto another platform. I have not settled on which platform yet, but as more news on that comes by, I will do updates on YouTube, on the other socials, perhaps on Twitch, I'm not sure. But yeah, so if anyone tunes into this and enjoys fantasy trilogies, or I know this is going to be about Path of Schaa, but if you like a grounded historical fiction or like a fantasy historical almost cross, because Code and Soul of the Gem are also out there, yeah, feel completely free to pop by through the Ko-fi link that will either pop up on this stream or again can be found on the panels. And yeah, I am not going to drag this out. In the edit for this for the YouTube, I am just going to stick up a nice image of all three of them together. I ran out of time to do that today, but please do also share this video when it's out. Obviously, little Twitch announcement at the moment, and I might save it as a highlight. I don't know. And yeah. Sorry, I'm just a bit I'm partly tired, partly bewildered, and trying to think if there's anything else that I need to discuss. This is going to be I will say physical paperback copies. I do not know when they will be released, because I still need to release them for Assault. So for the foreseeable future, it is digital only, but again, they are PDF. So, and that's not just in the title, they are genuinely PDF files. So hopefully that's fair enough for people. And I would talk about why I'm not on Amazon and anything like that, or on another one like Ingram Spark, but I've already done that in a previous video, so I'm not going to touch on that now. For now, it's Ko-fi, and there will be another platform, hopefully at some point through the summer. I don't know when, but as I will be sure to share and make that newsworthy as soon as it comes through. But I will say, with the trilogy, if you like fantasy, if you like, I'm going to say it as well, if you like mythology, different mythologies, because whilst in some cases that drifts more to the world building, I have tried to spice it up a bit with this world. And if you like nature as well, and like seeing the normal kind of characteristics get twisted around a bit in terms of who's good and who's evil, like I've done lore videos on them and things like that, but one of the forces of good in Aphalas are trolls, and there are others as well. How ogres and goblins are a lot sort of different in their backstory, and honestly, of all of them, I've covered it in their own lore videos, but yeah, they do have the most tragic of most of the peoples. But I will also say that a fair few of the stories I have been working on or toying with for the future focus on the lands that the trilogy does not cover. So Arasin, Honor Kivris, maybe a little bit of the archipelago. But perhaps it's one thing where I've done this and then I will write some others about what happens on those other worlds, other worlds, other lands, sorry, and perhaps I could set up a future collision course or something like that. But we've just rounded off to the 10-minute mark, and I think I have covered all the bases that I need to do. So this video is going to be getting released a couple of days after it's being done on the stream. So for those of you on YouTube, I'm sorry for the little bit of the delay, but on the same day as this, there is also a short releasing as basically a announcement for Path of Schaa being out. But for those of you on YouTube, I hope you enjoyed. Feel completely free, obviously, to go and check out the link or to check out the other social links. I'm adding that even though I know that that's on the new end screen. Yeah, welcome to the Kingdom of Aphalas and the world of Fellow Mind books.